Hello, divine creators. Welcome to Dumela Universe. We are Velastri. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is a collective weekly reading for the 27th of March to the 2nd of April 2023. Beautiful beings. Happy solar return to all of those celebrating this week. Thank you so very much for coming through this lifetime, this physical experience, to honor source and to be the beautiful love and light you are. We celebrate you, we are grateful for you, we honor you, and we trust you have a most beautiful, abundant and joyous day of celebration, week of celebration. And of course, to everybody else watching out there, have a most incredible week. Let's see what's coming through this last week of March, heading into April 2023. The world. Okay, endings, completion of a soul cycle. Ooh, that's exciting. Ooh, that's exciting. And oh, that's really good. When we had that card, I felt like a relief and cornucopia. Okay, so the 29 of the world. Major soul cycle completion. Major soul cycle completion. And this will be different from each and every single one of you. Some of you, it is a soul lesson that you've been having for the past 10-year cycle, 20-year cycle for some of you, even a 30-year cycle for some of you. Some of you, it is a rebirth cycle coming to an end, a soul cycle coming to an end. There is a ending of a lesson or a period of transformation. Some of you are coming out of your cocoon. So this is really varied for all of you, but whatever lesson, whatever cycle, whatever hardship, whatever energy cycle, it really feels like a cycle of energies that you had to go through this period for learning, for growth, for transmutation, for transformation, for ascension, for transcendence, whatever it was, integration, to access higher codes. You've been all going through a very different period and cycle, and it's wrapping up this week. You are finally done with it, and it really feels like it was a period of, it was not an easy lesson, not an easy time. Perhaps you had to release a lot of things. It was a bit lackful. You had to let go of a lot of things. You had to sort of make do with what you had, and you almost felt a resistance of resources and perhaps finances, perhaps some of your relationships, because you had to walk this journey alone. You see, here you are alone. You had to walk this journey alone. You had to be very light. You had to let go of a lot of things in order for you to make it. And you see, you're at the dock now, and we're really feeling that three of wands energy coming in, and finally your ships are going to come, and you're going to board the ship, and it's going to take you on a whole new journey. And this journey it's taking you on, finally you start receiving that which you are. And we love this too, reminiscent of the 2 of wands energy coming in, and it's an 11 obviously, and here 2 and 9 make an 11, so 11, powerful energy of yes, you are on your path, and yes, you are finally moving on to happier experiences. Both reduced down, 11, then it's a 2, master number 22, which goes down to a 4, a solid foundation. So it's a really powerful numerology about you finally moving on, moving to a better place, manifestations, moving through a portal, 11, 2 portal, from one world to the next, and a world of 4, which is a solid foundation, cornucopia, abundance, finally receiving, finally being able to receive that which you have been asking for. there's a renewal. You are now starting a new journey where you are now finally beginning your renewal. There you are as the butterfly, finally the manifestations of the butterfly coming through. And it has been a long journey. Everyone, of course, is having different periods and different experiences of this. You're all at different ascension processes, all at different levels of, and of course, this doesn't mean some at better levels or worse levels. It's different. It's so important that you understand that each and every single one of you are source, and each and every single one of you are doing incredibly well where you are, no matter what the circumstances are. It's exactly where you need to be for the healing that you are doing, and for you to have that outlook in order for you to be able to tap into these higher energies coming in, and that you're now finally moving into a stage of ease, of abundance, of fluidity, however that might be. Perhaps some of you is an abundance of relationships and love. Some of you is abundance of finances and resources. Some of you is abundance of creativity. Maybe you've been having writer's block, a creative block, and now finally ideas and creativity is just flowing in, opportunity flowing in. Some of you, it's rest. You've been needing rest, and now finally an abundance of rest, and you're able to go on vacation, you're able to go on holiday, and you're enjoying yourself. So it really is very varied, depending on where you are. But know that you have completed quite a hard soul cycle, and some of you are, this still feels like a dream and a fantasy. It feels very far away, and Source is saying actually it's closer than you think. Even though situations right now might seem dire, it's simply the ending. It had to resolve in that way in order for you to move on to the next, whatever it was. Okay, thank you. That is why Source is saying some of your paths have almost ended suddenly, or have ended unexpectedly, ended in a way you didn't want. All of this, you were on this trajectory, and all of a sudden, stop. What you were thinking has just been stopped or paused or removed from you, and it's quite a sudden shock, and you're thinking, I didn't expect that. What's going on? Did I do something wrong? And so saying, no, that had to go now to bring in this new energy. So you see, it just really depends. Some of you, it has been a very fluid kind of cycle, and you have really come to the conclusion and stopped. Some of you has been a cycle where you have had to release, and it's been a bittersweet release. Others of you has been a very grateful goodbye. Others of you has been a very sorrowful, I don't want to let it go. Others of you has just been a shocking release. So Source is saying, however it stopped, you've all come to this end of one cycle, but trust that the next cycle is a lot better. So if it was something good you had to release, there's so much more goodness coming in. If it was something you wanted you had to release, trust the path coming in is much better than what you had thought. The other path was actually not what you actually wanted, and it was divine intervention, it was divine protection to assist you to shift to this path. If it was something that was very painful and hard you released, you're coming now to nice renewal and a nice cleansing. So however it ended, good, bad, horrific, happy, light, gentle, fast and painful, better, the new path coming in is much better than however it was and however the new old cycle had treated you. Okay, very interesting energy. I'm feeling a multitude of emotions here of how this soul cycle ended, and here just a big sigh of relief. And so it feels like however it ended, no matter what it is, no matter where you are right now, know that you are now starting to begin a new cycle, which is just so much better, so much lighter, and you really enjoy this new space you're in. Really be open and really let go to allow this new beginning. The World card in Tarot also brings about new beginnings. Okay, so let go of what it was. Really let go. There's a new ship coming in to take you away to a whole new experience. So even if it's a path you really wanted, or you really worked hard on, and you had created an idea, a goal upon it, all of a sudden it's not coming to fruition, let go in order for this new path to anchor in. The more you remain in that almost mourning, holding on period, it's almost like you delay how fluidly this new path can anchor in. But when you just release and remain present, this new path anchors in so quickly that you don't even miss it anymore. It's like you were heartbroken today, and then the next moment you're like, oh my, actually, wow, I can't believe I was sad over that because this is so amazing. It's quite a, even just looking at the imagery, right? Just gloomy and then woof, light. That is how it feels. Quite a stark contrast. And for those of you where this was really, really good, Source is saying, look at what you thought was good in comparison to what is really good that's coming in. Very interesting. Ooh, Source giving us another message also. If we just ignore the imagery altogether and just look at the color spectrum, shadow and light, that which is in the spirit realm, the lessons you were learning within, now reflecting in the physical, because what was happening is what you were doing, you were creating on a frequency that wasn't serving you within. The creative baseline was not serving you, so this image was not here. It was a very bleak energy. But now you've done the healing to come into, you've done the inner work, that Virgo hermit energy. You've walked your solar path, you've done the lessons, you've done the inner work, and now it's reflecting in the physical powerfully. The physical is as fluid and as abundant as the spirit realm now. Very interesting. Very interesting energies. Okay, let's pull some tarot. Let's see if we can get a bit more. Ooh. Look, yeah, you're receiving things coming in. And look at Source saying, release how they were going to come in. Release what you thought. Release the old cycles. Release the old way. Release the old attachment. Release the outcome. New energy, new ways, new frequencies coming in. The Four of Cups. It's time for you to receive. And you've been waiting. Oh goodness, you've been waiting. It's been, this is you. You're done. We can feel it. You're over it. And it's not in a bad way, because you still have faith. You still know good things are coming, but you're quite... It's not that you've given up. You are very strong and powerful in your truth. You'll never give up on you, but you're almost... It's been such a long wait. And it just feels like, it might come or not. Oh, well, yeah, of course. So you say it's coming, but then, yeah, still waiting. And Source is saying, we feel you. We really do feel you, which is why we brought this card out first. We feel it. We know it has not been easy, but no, it is coming in. There's just so much work that had to be done, which on a human perspective, you don't even see. So what you think you have done in the physical, you think you've done this, you've done this, you've done this, while behind the scenes, there's still so much being done. And that is why the physical seems paused, like nothing is happening, because there's so much other weaving and happenings in the astral, in the non-physical, on a soul level, frequency level. So you are a multi-vibrational, you're a multi-dynamic being. So the physical reality you are living right now on earth is not the only one. It's not the only world you are living. It's not the only experience you're experiencing. It's just the only one you are possibly aware of at this time. But you can feel other energies. You can feel other realms. So understand that there's, on every single level that you are, you have been doing this work. And yes, sometimes you have completed a portion of it in the physical, but there's still other portions in the other realms that are catching up, or that are having other assignments before the physical can then move on to the next chapter. Everything has to move on when it's divinely timed, right? Imagine you're a team. Thank you, Source. Imagine you're a team of 4, and the 4 of you have to move on at the same time, but then each of you have a different task. So the physical version of you has completed the task, but the other versions of you are still busy. So then one is done, they're still busy. And while they're still busy, you're waiting, thinking, but nothing is happening. Nothing is changing. There's nothing more to do. What's going on? And then now finally, Source is saying, the 4 of you have now completed it, and now you're ready to move on to the next. And that's what you're receiving, and that's what you're feeling. Very interesting. And Source is saying, Some of you, we know it might feel like just excuses, and it's not really excuses. Um, it's so important that you understand that there's so much to you and that you accept it as your reality, because then you won't be so impatient or so frustrated in these periods of stillness. Because if you keep thinking, oh no, it's just another reason, another reading, another excuse, then that is when you get disheartened, and that is when your frequency gets splintered, and then you're then manifesting resistance. But if you can just accept, oh goodness, I'm more complex than I thought I was, and I do know that the physical component is done, I can feel it, and I can feel there's a lot happening because of my dreams and because I'm feeling, and I'm so sensitive. So I definitely know that there's so much happening on so many other levels. And okay, let me just embrace that we need all of it to be complete before we move on to the next chapter. And once you can embrace it, it allows an ease where you are. And in that ease, you are abundant. Even though it hasn't physically manifested, you are abundant, and you're honoring the frequency of abundance, and you are so in the frequency of abundance that when you're ready to move on, it's an immediate integration of the abundance that you are wanting. And they say, yes, thank you, Source. It's not an easy thing, but it's something you've mastered, and you will get used to it, because this is literally the new way of being. And eventually you're going to be so used to it that at any given point on your journey, you're not going to be frustrated or flustered. You're going to be in such deep acceptance of this is where I am, that you're always within abundance no matter what state you're in, and that you then never are in an anxiety or a frustration or an anxiety or a fear or a depression. You're never in those spaces, because you have released so much to the path you are on, and you are being reminded of your strength in this, which is why everything is working out in this way. And you're really doing well. That's coming out very strongly. It might not seem it, but you're really doing incredibly well. Here you are, coming into this truth, into the strength, even this Aries energy here, because we're in Aries season, the King of Wands energy here, fire energy. And this is you honoring your sacred wisdom, honoring your healing ability, really taking charge, intuitive. And this is where you are coming into. You see, you've done all that work, and now you're coming into this period where that which you're doing is exciting. You have passion for it again. You are feeling happy. You are feeling, you're really feeling. We feel your energy revitalized. You are a bit tired and drained, and Source is saying a lot of the exhaustion is because of the energy work you have been doing, and it has been a bit throwing you off, because as much as you are a being who is not lazy and you do work, you have been feeling a lot more tired than ordinarily so, and you have been resting, so it has not really been, you haven't been able to really make sense of it, of the fatigue. But it's because of all this energetic work you have been doing. Again, in the physical you might be still, but in the other vibrational bodies you have been busy, and so you're feeling the physical exhaustion because of all the soul integration, the soul work and the energetic work you've been doing. And you're finally coming to a place where you're going to feel recharged, rejuvenated. A lot of you worried that, okay, well, if this new beautiful abundance comes in, am I even going to enjoy it because I'm exhausted? Will I have the strength to even go on this new path, to begin this new project, because I feel like I'm done? And Source is saying you're going to, not only does the new energy bring in a new path, a new door, a new opportunity, a new creative adventure, a new frequency, it restores your energy, it replenishes it, so you feel like a whole new person, a whole new being. You feel on top of your frequency, on top of the world again. You really, really do. You're going to really feel restored. Interesting. And look, yes, here you are, the magician, your world, your manifestations, your alchemy. This is you honoring the truth of you, finally feeling whole, feeling balanced. Your manifestations finally coming to life, coming to light, coming into being. no longer in the space of drought and living month to month. Some of you just month to month salary, not really being able to have more, just being very limited or making do with what you have, finances being tight, resources being tight. You are finally moving into a frequency where things balance out a lot more, and you have a bit more to take care of you, a bit more to look after you. You have really completed a major soul cycle. A lot of you, souls just brought in that 60 days, and yes, we are still to complete the 60 days for the last 3 signs. The last 3 signs, it's interesting because we sometimes ask, why is it that the readings are so far apart? And all the signs have different energy codes and different energy sequences, and so you are all receiving it when it is aligned highly for you. So the signs coming in, you had to wait until the Aries season came in, you had to wait in until the new moon was anchored in. So all of these energies are aligned. Well, everybody else before, you had to do it before in order for you to be in that space for the energies to come in. So everybody, you're all receiving your coding exactly at the right time. And so a lot of you, that 60-day readings that we brought through with the different changes and the different integrations, those are really kicking in, or you're wrapping it up, because it doesn't mean it had to take 60 days. Some of you it's within the 60 days. Some of you it'll take 60 days. So it's an interesting energy of the cycles and the integrations and the healings that you are doing wrapping up, and you coming into this fullness. Or even if it's not wrapping up, whatever stage you are in, it's coming to this fullness. Even those of you who haven't even begun, like we haven't uploaded those readings yet, and your 60 days will begin. For the 60 days, yes, it's your personal journey, but we're also integrating and adding, it's a healing. When we're doing those readings, we definitely feel our own energy working. It feels like an alchemy, a spell, a healing that we're also imparting into it. And so for you all, you are going to have this space of being in the magician and then receiving that transformation. So it's really a very interesting integration when you observe it from that higher space. And yes, let's come back to this reading. So you are really going to feel yourself, your alchemy, your alchemist. You're really coming into tune, into terms rather, of your magic, of how you manifest, of your alchemy, and really follow your intuitive promptings on this. Okay, we, Kemet Velastri, have really come into a very interesting space where we were understanding that mirror manifestation is actually quite a huge part of our manifesting. And we did it in the beginning of our transformation, then we released it quite for a bit because it didn't resonate. Now it's coming back so strongly as part of our current manifesting energy. It might not be permanent. We might move on to something else, because remember, you're forever upgrading and transforming. And so wherever you are on your journey, whatever is aligned, maybe right now you are writing down and doing channeled writing for manifestations. Maybe you're doing fire spells. Maybe you're doing flower spells. Maybe you're doing mirror work. Maybe you're doing walking meditations. Maybe you're doing nature walks. Maybe you're doing ice baths. Whatever it is that you are feeling inspired to do, go with it, because Source is saying this is how you manifest your magic at this time. This is how you integrate your energies. This is how you bring in what you've been wanting. So don't fight the unique processes coming in, and also don't be worried if something you used to do falls away. We had this period for a year where we just received these sacred symbols and imagery, and we used to do receive these sacred symbols and draw them in this in one of our books, in our journals. And that used to be a daily thing, and we used to put down the symbol down, put on the tarot, do the ritual, and that was what we were receiving. Then all of a sudden it released, and it was no longer part of our frequency. For those of you who have joined us on YouTube since the beginning, you might remember us bringing out the moon symbols or the different symbols on the book when we were doing our readings, because it was quite an integral part of our energy transmission at the time. And now we no longer really tap into that. It's moved on. So Don't be afraid of releasing something. It doesn't mean like, oh no, I've been lazy because I haven't been doing that. No, you just shifted to a new space where you are manifesting in a whole different way. And this way might be more permanent, long lasting, or it also might be fleeting, where you're doing this for a couple of months, doing this for a year, and then all of a sudden you're moving on to something else. So be fluid and be flexible. You are so unique, you're so dynamic, you're so complex that there isn't a one way, a specific set way in which you anchor in energy. It'll always evolve with you and change with you. So evolve with it. Allow the transformation process. Honor your transformation process each moment. It's not something that you don't have one transformation process, because then source would be limited, would be singular, would be one. You don't have a moment of enlightenment and then that's it, because then again singular. You're always, when you're present, you're enlightened because you're always in that space of receiving evolution and change and growth. But you never reach a peak form of enlightenment, because then source has a peak, source has a maximum. Again, that's not possible, because source is forever learning, forever evolving. So allow yourself the freedom and the fluidity of evolving. If you do that, then you remain present each state, and whenever these endings and beginnings begin and end, it's not so jarring, it's more fluid, and you are more centered in your ascension process. Okay. Okay, so set all of these. And here we see it, the Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords rather, Ace of Swords, 5 of Wands, and the Page of Swords. Okay. And Source just literally mirroring and reiterating what we've just received. Ace of Swords, clarity, understanding, your mind being open, no longer busy, no longer you being in your headspace overthinking. So really, don't overthink things this week. Don't go into overload, analysis paralysis, problem-solving mode. Allow your mind to be an emptiness. Allow your mind to be a blank canvas, because you're receiving new insight, new understanding, new perception, new understanding of how you manifest, new ways. You're coming into a clarity. A clarity. There's an ease, that relief of, I understand now. I'm no longer so caught up in the head, so caught up with, oh no, but that left, or that didn't work out. What am I going to do? It's sort of like, okay, well, clearly that wasn't meant for me, Source. I'm releasing it. What is meant for me? Bring it in. And in that clarity, you are really receiving your true manifesting path, your true manifestations. And here we go again, 5 of Wands with the King of Wands. Follow your intuition. Follow what you're guided to do in your truth, in your power. Don't second guess your intuitive promptings. We feel this new path might be very, very different from what you thought you're going to be doing. And Source is saying, don't fight against it, okay? Don't fight against it. Whatever is coming in, it's aligned to you. And don't worry thinking you're not good enough, you don't have enough skill set. The resources, the skills, and what you need will be brought in each step of the moment. The resources come in at the right time. It's not about you first receiving it in order to. You are in that space. When you're in that space, you're then a receptive frequency to attract the resources, to attract the information, to attract the skills. So be open-minded. Be open-minded about what you're receiving. And don't fight against you. Don't self-sabotage. You're on the right path. You're doing incredibly well. Follow your intuition. And follow those divine promptings from Source. Don't go against Source. You are Source. Source is not this energy controlling you. Source is this energy of you, liberating you, trying to release you from the control. So whatever stubbornness you might be having upon your path, that's ego, because resistance is ego. Everything else in Source is fluid. So try your best not to when Source is saying, hey, there's a whole new way you're doing, you're getting offered this, and it's really what you're really good at, it is really aligned to your manifestation, but you're thinking, no, but it changes so much. People are going to react badly, but it means I have to release this. Don't fight against the powerful new path you're being shown. It's for you, because we see over the Page of Swords, new information, new insight, a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. And we can see it here. So saying, release the old way, release the fixed way, release the outcome. There's a new way, new ideas, new inspiration, new ideas, new imaginations, new resources. It's all about the new coming in for you at this time. So beautiful beings, you are completing a major soul cycle, a major soul lesson, a major period of your life journey. And you are coming into one of newness, of abundance, manifestations in your power, passion, and clarity. Don't fight the changes. Don't self-sabotage. Don't hold yourself back. Don't hold yourself back, and don't give anybody else the power to hold you back. No matter who they are in your life, don't let anybody hold you back, and don't give anybody the power to hold you back. You are source, and you're here to manifest your physical reality in a way which honors you. You're here to experience your magic. You're here to take leadership of your own life. And the physical, here we see the divine masculine, the light, the physical realm is ready to honor you. And you're receiving new ideas, new ways of how to now finally live a life that truly honors the magician, the magic, the alchemist, the source, the power, the love you are. Blessed be.